Good morning. My name is Paolo Michele Sambilla. I am Senior Manager with Creara. And today we're going to talk about the Strategic Energy Technology Plan, the SET Plan, which is Europe's answer to climate and energy challenges. So a few words about Creara. Creara is a consulting and engineering firm specialized in energy efficiency, renewables, and smart grids. We have four main business units, and which deal with consulting, engineering, energy management for our clients, and training and outreach. I am in charge of the multilateral projects area, which spans across the four business units of Creara and delivers projects and funding from institutions like the European Commission, the European Investment Bank, and so on. So let's take a look at the history and context of the SET Plan. The SET Plan was born in the 2006-2007 period, where Europe started to tackle the challenges posed by climate and energy issues. The SET Plan is the technological pillar of the EU energy policy, whose objectives at the time were set as the 20% reduction of greenhouse gases emissions, 20% increase of renewable energy sources in the energy mix, and 20% less primary energy use, all to be achieved by 2020. And in order to realize and to achieve this objective, the European Commission recognized the central role of technology in the energy policy, and recognized also that Europe was falling short on these objectives due to the easy availability of energy resources and the lack of proper incentives for innovation and decarbonization. It was agreed that immediate action was needed to address these weaknesses, especially in the energy technology innovation process. And the European Commission realized that Europe should achieve a world leadership in low-carbon energy technologies in order to achieve such objectives and to ensure also the competitiveness of its industry. A further point was to reduce the dependency of Europe of imports, both in terms of energy resources and technology. So the European Strategic Energy Technology Plan was the outcome of such vision. Objectives were the acceleration of the development of technologies and its transfer to the market and its market update, helping to achieve the EU leadership in such technologies. The SET Plan was originally born with two timelines. The first one, towards 2020, aiming to accelerate the deployment of the low-cost energy technologies that were cost-effective at the time and to achieve the 2020 objectives we just discussed before. But also, towards 2050, the SET Plan was aimed to achieve a low-carbon economy, contributing to the climate challenge objectives, which are in concrete the limitation of the global temperature rise to less than 2 degrees Celsius, and to focus, always towards 2050, the research and innovation in terms of energy technology in order to bring the European Union at the forefront of these technologies. Now let's take a look at the content in more details, the content of the SET Plan. So in terms of conception, the SET Plan objectives provided for planning, implementation, resources, and international cooperation. These were the four main pillars of the original set plan. So in terms of planning, the central role was taken by the set plan steering group, formed by high-level governative representatives of the European countries, plus some non-European countries, Iceland, Norway, Switzerland, and Turkey. The steering group, since the beginning of the set plan, coordinates the implementation and promotes multilateral initiatives between the country members. In order to support the steering group, the set plan information system was also ideated, developed, and in order to ease the monitoring and the reporting of the implementation progress. The set plan information system, or SETIS, is available on the web. It's a quite complex and complete resource that can be accessed by the link in the presentation. Then, next to these two elements, in order to achieve the implementation of the objectives, it was decided the establishment of several European industrial initiatives that put together public and private stakeholders in order to strengthen the industrial energy research and innovation. And each of these initiatives was planned to set up a technology roadmap that describes the timeline and the milestones for a certain type of technology. We will go about this a little bit more detail later. In order to coordinate national research efforts, the European Energy Research Alliance was set up, coordinating the work of national research institutions and platforms across the group of countries participating to the set plan. Then, in terms of resources, at the time of the set plan, it was recognized to double the level of investment in such technology that was set up at the time, and also to increase the incentives, the financial incentives for developing and deploying on the market such technologies. This was done through the European Research and Innovation Programs, namely the 7th framework program that was active at the time of the creation of the set plan, the European Industrial Initiatives that were discussed before, and the European Investment Bank that created a risk-sharing facility to make sure such projects were deployed with less risk for public and private stakeholders. Another important point in terms of resources was to provide Europe with an increased number of engineers and researchers conversant with such technologies. Finally, the set plan brought forward a new and reinforced approach to international cooperation with two different approaches. Towards developed countries, such as the blue countries in the European map to the left, the cooperation research had to be focused for the common good, for safety issues, public acceptance of new technologies and new solutions, and also to expand the horizon of the research on the longer term. While towards the developing and emerging economies in Europe, the objective was to support their sustainable growth and not to let them grow in an unsustainable manner, and creating at the same time new market opportunities for the European industry, so large demonstration projects and innovative financial mechanisms that could support such projects. Now let's take a little look more in detail to the European industrial initiatives. As said, they bring together the industry, the research community, the member states, and the European Commission. At the beginning, there were 6 European industrial initiatives aimed at strengthening the industrial research and achieve a critical mass of activities and actors. The European Wind Energy Initiative, the Solar Europe Initiative, the European Electricity Grid Initiative, which now has become the European Smart Grid Electricity Initiative, the European CO2 Capture, Transport and Storage Initiative, the Sustainable Nuclear Initiative, and the European Industrial Bioenergy Initiative. Later on, other platforms were added to this list, such as the Fuel Cells and Hydrogen Joint Technology Initiative, the Smart Cities and Communities Initiative, and the Ocean Energy Europe Initiative, which is one of the most recent ones. As I said, such initiatives and platforms promote the market uptake of technologies and make coordinated and targeted use of private and public funding. In terms of resources for the implementation of the set plan objectives, such resources, such economic resources come from the industry, the member states, and the European Commission. As said, at the beginning of the set plan, funds were deployed through the 7th Framework Program for Research and Development and the Intelligent Energy Europe program that was aimed at innovation and market uptake, so the removal of barriers towards the adoption of such technologies in the market. From 2014, both these two streams have been merged in the Horizon 2020 program, which is now active, and finances projects for research, development, demonstration, and innovation and market uptake of energy technologies. Of course, there were other programs contributing to the objectives, such as the European Energy Program for Recovery that was set up in 2009 in order to address the crisis and to reach the objectives of the energy policy. This fund in 2009 delivered 4 billion euros to co-finance 59 projects that deal with the electricity, infrastructure, gas, carbon capture and storage, and offshore wind. Another program which had quite good outcome was the New Entrants Reserve that uses the sales of carbon allowances to fund carbon capture and storage and renewables demonstration projects. And so far, this initiative has leveraged a little bit more than 2 billion euros of public funding and a little bit less than 3 billion euros of private funding. Finally, the cohesion of funds, both in the 2007-2013 period and the 2014-2020 period, have so far made available 63 billion euros to reduce the disparities between European countries, reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving energy efficiency and renewables. These funds are managed by a network of energy authorities across the European countries. Now, if we want to take a little bit look about research, development, and innovation, the main factor behind the Horizon 2020 program is to bring technology and research and development technology projects beyond the so-called valley of death. So not simply delivering a new product, but making sure that such new product is also a success as a business, so that the total investment is recovered and these products are actually delivered and deployed in the European market in order to maximize their impacts. And this has brought a new focus on the participants of such projects. They now have to make sure that their efforts are actually delivered on the market and not remain on the shelves. So the set plan since 2007 has become a dynamic and living system that has evolved and has been strengthened and refocused different times during the years. For instance, in 2013, the European Commission decided to maintain the set plan, but also strengthen it and develop a roadmap that covered the research and innovation chain in its entirety, from the research to the deployment on the market, and also more clearly stating the roles and duties of organizations, businesses, universities, and member states in order to make sure the objectives of the set plan are delivered. And based on this integrated roadmap, an action plan is to be delivered in the next years in order to make sure that the public and private investment is actually delivered on the basis of the principle of the cooperation of the set plan. So based on this, during last year, in 2014, a public consultation that involved over 150 stakeholders in Europe was initiated in order to concretize the integrated roadmap. And this was done by outlining 4 key challenges that have to be tackled and planned over the next years. The first one of these challenges is to empower consumers and bring them at the center of the energy system. First of all, consumers need to have better understanding, information, and have achieved a more active role on the energy market rather than the passive one they had so far. In fact, their behavior can be influenced by a more detailed billing information, by the presence of smart meters in their households or in their commercial premises. And it's necessary to make sure they understand their new role and take part to the market actively. A way to do this is to activate them through innovative technologies, products and services that they can use to make use of the possibilities that are given to them by the evolving energy market, such as the self-production of electricity for its own use that can be achieved through solar panels. The second key challenges was focused on demand and aimed at increasing energy efficiency. In fact, between the 3 2020 objectives, the energy efficiency one is, up to this moment, the one that may not be fully achieved by the time 2020 comes. First of all, buildings. I mean, buildings represent 40% of the final energy demand. All buildings need to be renovated. New buildings have to be nearly zero or zero energy buildings that do not increase unnecessarily the final energy demand of Europe. Another focus for energy efficiency is the heating and cooling sector that represents across the industrial, commercial, and the residential market the 50% of energy consumption. Finally, industry and services can also improve their energy efficiency. They also have 40% of total energy consumption in Europe, and reducing their energy costs also means increasing their competitiveness on the market by having less operating costs. Third pillar of this integrated roadmap is the optimization of the energy system. The European electricity grid needs to be modernized and coordinated across its national and supranational elements. This will allow for security of supply, for a better quality of services, and for an increased role and share of electricity in the energy mix, which is foreseen over the next years. Such modernization requires a regulatory framework review across national countries and across Europe. A second point is to unlock the potential of energy storage and the conversion of electricity from other forms of energy. Due to the foreseen and required increase of renewable energy sources and due to their intermittent nature, storage is expected to play a growing importance in the next years. And storage has to encompass the electricity storage, but also fuel cells and hydrogen technology solutions. A third point is to provide the energy system with flexibility, demand response, security, and cost effectiveness. And smart grids need all these features in order to deploy and operate in a cheap manner. Finally, if we take into account that European cities gather almost 70% of total consumption, it is necessary to perform a system optimization at local and urban level. And this necessity corresponds to the Smart Cities and Communities initiatives that was discussed between the European industry energy initiatives previously in the presentation. In order to achieve this, all the city stakeholders need to work together, they need to be coordinated, they need to have models to rely upon for their work. Finally, the fourth pillar is focus on supply. Supply needs to be secure, cost-effective, clean, and competitive. First of all, we need to accelerate the deployment of renewable electricity and heating and cooling technologies. Already today, the savings introduced by renewables in Europe amount to 30 billion per year. And we have to proceed along this path. Then carbon capture, CO2 utilization and storage technologies are needed to make sure that while fossil fuels will still be used, the goals for 2020 of the for 2050 of decarbonization are met. Finally, the nuclear systems need to be safe and efficient, and it is necessary as they will be still needed for many years in the energy mix. The last point, the sustainable biofuels, fuel cells, and hydrogen are needed for the European transport sector, which is responsible for the greater part of the greenhouse gases emissions in Europe. And it is expected that biofuels move from their current 5% share of transport energy supply up to 60% by 2050. Now, let's take a look at what have been the main impacts of the set plan on the European market, and what are the open issues for the next years. So the funding of the set plan objectives has been growing steadily since the inception of the set plan. If we look at the latest figures published by the Commission that only refer to 2011, but the annual funding moved from 3.2 billion in 2007 to almost 9 billion in 2011. And 66% of this funding came from industry, while 28% from the member states and 6% from the European Commission. And if we look at the technologies that have been supported with the set plan, we can see how the key sectors have been energy storage, wind, bioenergy, solar, and carbon capture and sequestration. And in the 2014-2020 period, the funding levels are going to be even higher. So we are seeing that only for low carbon technologies and services, 30 billion euros are expected from the Horizon 2020 project, and almost 40 billion euros from the cohesion policy funds. There are also new funds and initiatives being deployed, such as the InnoFin for energy demonstration projects, and the European Fund for Strategic Investments that will also deal with the large energy-related demonstration projects. So the Commission has published through the set plan information system an impact assessment of the set plan implementation, confirming the strengths, but also identified a number of open issues that need to be addressed in the next years. So there is no doubt the set plan has contributed to low carbon energy cost reduction and to technology market deployment in Europe. But it seems that the commitment of the member states has not been as good as it should have been. And this has resulted in insufficient public and private investment flows. We can think that in some countries, such as Spain, the regulatory framework has first started and then stopped abruptly the development of renewable energy technologies. And one of the examples of this is even if the European costs for PV cell production have fallen significantly from 2010 to 2013, the market deployment of PV has stopped in many European countries. And even a similar argument can be done for biomass. Europe is leading technology-wise for biomass, but due to the regulatory framework, the investments are currently stopped. Europe is also quite weak in smart consumer services compared to other world markets. And similarly, for the manufacturing of energy storage capacity, we are lagging quite behind the USA, Japan, and Korea. The market uptake of building renovations for energy efficiency is quite insufficient. Only 1-2% of European buildings are renovated each year, and according to latest data, 64% of these buildings already have still have an inefficient space heating system, and over 40% of them has still single-glazed old-style windows that do not ensure energy efficiency. Also for carbon capture and storage, while 4 large demonstration projects are planned by 2020, the final decision on the financing is still being kept. And there is no visibility on when the development of this project will actually begin. So now we move to recent days, to 2015. So the European Commission this year has delivered the Energy Union package, so strengthening the role of the of the energy in the overall policy of Europe. So from an energy policy, we're moving to an energy union. So it is key that the energy policy is developed by the European Union together as a single entity rather as 27 or 28 national states. And the set plan has been incorporated as one of the pillars of this energy union. So the Commission has proposed a revised research, development, and innovation approach with an upgraded set plan and a strategic transport agenda. This as concretized in a communication published in September 2015 on 10 focused actions that will accelerate the energy system transformation, create jobs, and growth. More concretely, this new revised strategy adds focus on sustainable transport, which was not one of the main pillars of the previous versions and edition of the set plan and of the integrated roadmap. Recognizes the need for a more effective structure of governance that improves the implementation of the objectives, and recognizes a need for better financing. So it is key that the public financing which is available from the Commission, from the Member States, leverages more efficiently the private investments. And also it triggers a review of the national market design and the regulatory frameworks to allow the successful implementation of the objectives and make sure the barriers are not set up by the regulatory frameworks set by those member states that should implement the set plan. Okay. Now let's take a look what are the business opportunities arising from the implementation of the set plan in Europe. So in this slide, we have summarized the three main, let's say, stakeholder types that we can see in the market, in the energy market. So consumers, the industry and services providers, and the government and authorities. And if we look at the set plan priorities, we can see that many of them, like the energy efficiency in buildings, is a common priority across these three categories of stakeholders, but also that some stakeholders have different priorities on them, such as demand response tools and services for the industry, and smart grid solutions for the industry, such as the smart cities and communities objectives for sustainable energy, transport, that governments and local governments are required to enforce, and the review of regulatory frameworks for national government, and the smart and public funding for national and regional authorities. All these priorities result in opportunities for the energy business stakeholders, market participants. The increased demand for services and products and tools is across all categories, while more policy support is needed by government and national authorities. And for all these opportunities, there is availability of European funding through the Horizon 2020 program, for instance. And in fact, in the next slides, I have brought forward a couple of Horizon 2020 or former FP7 projects which are still active, that give an idea of what can be developed by industry, research institutions, and also authorities, thanks to the funding made available by the European Commission through the Horizon 2020 program. If we focus on smart cities and communities, REMOURBAN is an example of one of the three successful projects that were funded under this area in the first call of 2014 or of Horizon 2020. The aim of this project is to develop a sustainable urban regeneration model to transform European cities into smart cities. This particular project is implemented in Valladolid in Spain, Nottingham in the UK, and Eskişehir here in Turkey. And a key of this kind of project is that what is developed in these cities has to be replicated in other cities, in other follower cities, which are also participating to the project consortium. The actions implemented in this project are across 4 interconnected dimensions: the low energy districts, sustainable mobility, and integrated IT infrastructures, and the society. So the participation of population into this development. For instance, in the low energy districts dimension, innovation projects are developed in the cities are dealing with monitoring tools, with the district heating retrofitting, with the renewable heating and cooling, with the deployment of renewable distributed generation technologies, and the focus on reaching an integrated energy efficiency across neighboring buildings. Total project budget for this project is almost 24 million euros, and 70% of it is coming from EC funding, while the remaining 30% is provided by the project consortium participants. Another example, this is an FP7 project, but the spirit is similar to many Horizon 2020 projects that are being developed now and will be developed in the next years, is the BESTPATHS project. This project is arising from the need that, due to the growing role of renewables in the energy mix in the next years, their integration is one of the main drivers for the development of the electricity infrastructure. And this provides an opportunity for reducing the grid loads, for better distributing them and reducing the losses of the grids, therefore increasing their energy efficiency. So this particular project, which is led by Red Eléctrica España, is to increase the pan-European transmission network capacity and the flexibility of the electricity system. And it features 5 large-scale demonstrators that deal with the interaction between high-voltage direct current grids and lines and the underlying alternated current parts of the network. It has a total total budget of over 63 million euros, and it features 39 partners from 11 different European countries. So this was the last example of business opportunity that can arise from the set plan. Of course, these are only 2 examples, but the key here is that there is a great opportunity for European industry and for the European national and local authorities to develop the tools and the services which are needed for their evolution in the next years, reducing the risk, because the purpose of this European Commission funding is exactly to reduce the risk, help them to develop their own services, their own products, their own infrastructure, and making sure that this development is useful not only to them, but to all the European stakeholders. And with this, I have finished my presentation. I would be very happy to receive feedback and comments and questions. So in the last slide, you can find my email address, and I hope to hear soon from the audience. Thank you very much.